What would be your top tips for anybody that really wants to be a Twitch streamer? Not like part-time, but wants to just go for it.
I think you have to decide. The first thing you got to do, it's the hardest question. You could spend 6 months on this question.
Yeah,
which is what's your USP? What's your unique selling point?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do different that other people aren't doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to kind of plug in a PlayStation or something, flick on the Twitch mode, log in, and be like, all right, I'm streaming Destiny, guys. You know, but when there's 4,000 people watching that, what's going to differentiate you? Like, one of the things that I used from the early days is, and we still, I think, are one of the only ones who do it, is 50-50 split. So one of the things is when I watch a Twitch stream, I care about the person more than the game, honestly. And so
you're really involved with your chat?
I am, and you would think that being in a headset is quite restrictive for that. I'll tell you, it's more restrictive on the receiving end, the perception side, than the actual receiving end. So I can pick up, even if I'm in a headset, there's a monitor here, through the nose hole, despite me having a large nose, I can get through that to the screen and
actually see what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can read chat, monitor chat. The issue I have is, if I was standing here with you, like this, right, for the whole time, you're going to feel disconnected because there's no human contact here. So it's very important to pop in and out frequently if you're going to VR stream. And the other thing is, with VR streaming, is if you start off and you have medium or aggressive schedules, it's 3, 5, 6 days a week, doing some hours. First thing you'll want to do is get VR legs. So if you're just a general 2D streamer, I think you just need to pick your timings and kind of figure out what as I said, what's unique about your show, and continue just practice. It's kind of like the old shower talk, right? You know, be ready to talk about anything and practice talking.
Your inner monologue is out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get better at that over time. I mean, it's the reason that I switched from YouTube into Twitch, because I said to myself, look, I've been doing YouTube like 4 years now. I'm not learning anything more. Video editing goes to a certain point, and then it becomes a skill barrier, I'll say. So some people are really great at editing, and some people outsource their editing. But being able to be on a stage or in front of a live audience and actually remain entertaining,
especially on an ongoing basis.
And to bring information in. It's kind of like, I like to think of it as like a news channel, right? Because you want to bring new information in again and again and again. And
so if you're doing a 2 to 3 hour stream, or
16,
how do you keep that news fresh then?
I gotta say, the number one thing I have to recommend to anyone who's streaming on any platform, bring a bottle of water. Before you press the go button, like have that, or a bottle of Coke or whatever, just to keep you going stamina-wise. But sorry, I missed your question.
I was going to say, how do you keep your news fresh then? If you're streaming for a long time, surely you'll reach a point like, I've got nothing more to give.
But the audience,
okay.
You know, they bring more information than I bring.
So you talk about what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about it. Think if it's hot or not. You know, if it's something that is viable. Also, once you've built up a catalog of things that you've done, reflect back on that. You know, like you're pulling stuff from the shelves of the library at this stage, and you're able to compare things. And one of the main things for us at the moment is, and I think it's important for some more reviewer type, like I did some work with Angry Joe, if you've ever heard of him. They are more reviewers. They're more about, like, is this game going to be fun? And people turn to those people for, do I want to buy this?
I want to get it,
So I've found myself, because I'm a bit of a critical person, I'm more in that space, and I find devs coming to me to kind of say, all right, here's our game, tell us what you think. And the other thing I'd say to streamers is just be honest. You know, it's actually tough to be honest. Especially if you think about it, for indies, right? That could be someone's food on the table. And if you say, if you berate their game and you say, it's rubbish, I honestly do. That's exactly what I say.
I find that tough.
And my current business partners, every single dev studio, I've probably told them one of their games was shite, like for some reason. Like sound design was terrible, introduction was bad, the UX, just isn't working for VR. Yeah, you can do it in 2D, but you can't do it in VR. Those are important points. So I'd say you have to find what you're good at. If you're good at being critical, do a little bit more of that and let people know you do it. I make some money off of that way as well. So there are people who come to me and say, Zim, I want your opinion. Here's the game, critique it, give me your report, just like you would a consultant. And so that's off show. And on show, for them, it's just, you know, they give me keys to their game. I get to check out games, and you know, the audience gets to see it. So
Wow.
it's a nice ecosystem.
That sounds good.
Though, my wife is just over here. She's got a baseball bat. I'm telling you, she's going to murder you. You need to run.
No, I don't have plans yet.
I've been good started with VR.
How did I get started in VR? So I actually started off printing out a cutout, stereoscopic lenses. So I took some cellophane sheets like you have on a projector.
Yeah.
You take a blue Sharpie and a red Sharpie, you color them in, and then those are the lenses. And then you cut out this, and you use like an NVIDIA driver. And in some games, they'll allow you to kind of, I'll call it VRify, but it's a stereoscopic game. So it stops at the monitor, but it has depth. So things like Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Left 4 Dead, you could play them in stereo, and it was kind of this yellow, smeary mess, because when you blur, you know, permanent marker, you get this like, unfortunately pea-colored, you know, smear. But that was the first thing. It was like, wow, I really like emergent gameplay, you know, and so then I started searching internet forums back in 2013, and I found out, oh, there's this thing called the Oculus Rift, and it was like, oh, that's really nifty. And then there was a guy, we were living in London at the time, and there was a guy who, his name was Chouse, and he was a VR developer, and I went around his place in Angel, didn't know him, just rocked up at his place. Myself and my wife had to go in this headset, in the DK1, and we actually filmed it. I can't believe we had the foresight to do it, but we filmed it, and like first time to go down a roller coaster, and we were super hyped going there, so I was totally expecting to get let down. Wasn't let down.
That was good.
Yeah. So now I own 4 headsets.
So that was the bug. That was the moment.
That was the moment, I'd say. Yeah.
So,
and then my wife said, because like we got a DK2, you had to order it. You had to wait 5 months for the thing to show up. Imagine me sitting there at home, I'd taken the day off work for the delivery guy to come. He comes at like 4:30 p.m. I'm chasing the truck up and down the street, you know, finally get it into my hands and then try it. And we're like, well, why don't we just Twitch stream it? So that's the day we started. That was 29th of July, 2014. So, and we've been doing it more than 3 years now.
Is it financially viable for you now? Have you reached that level where you can live off the...
Yeah, we got 30, 40 subs on Twitch now, so yeah, it's I couldn't live off of it compared to what I do with my day job, which is I'm an operations manager for a big bank.
Okay. So that doesn't quite.
But when you've got a family of 4, if I was a single guy, I'd say it'd start to be able to break even. I mean, the Twitch equivalent, I'll give a guy a shout out here, is Nathy. He's the dominator on YouTube. So yeah, we're kind of buddy. It's fun to be on both sides of the fence, you know.
So where can people find you? What's your Twitch handle?
So twitch.tv/Zimtok5. ZIMTOK5.
Why Zimtok? What's that sound?
It's actually from when I was like 8. My friend was Zimtok3, I was Zimtok5, and it was from a Calvin and Hobbes comic.
Okay.
I was supposed to be like the 5th ambassador. It's an old name. I'm for consistency, so I like to keep with the name I originally gave myself.
That. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. I really
Great
appreciate
stuff.
it. Yeah, it's good.
Cheers.
Fantastic.